ready, Tom? All right, welcome everyone. It's now 6:31 p.m. I'd like to call to order the Fenton Township Board meeting on the 17th day of December 2024. I'd ask everyone to please stand for the opening prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance. Trustee Gopal, will you please lead us?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Lord, we're meeting here tonight to conduct matters of business. We ask you guide our hearts and our minds in the spirit of fairness, right thought, and speech. Impart your supreme wisdom upon our activities so that our affairs may reach a successful conclusion. And as always, we thank you for being the source of our guidance tonight. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I thought they were down. I was looking at that one.
That's what you're up to.
Oh, okay. Well,
All right, Tom.
Mr. Tucker, you're back. I didn't know you were back in town. How are you, sir?
really? I thought you
As always,
much
thanks,
of a
Mark.
tan.
I greatly appreciate it.
End up having to cut it short.
Oh,
I don't know
Yeah,
what
State
that-
Bank, yeah.
okay.
His dad was Flint City. Yeah.
Better place.
All right. Clerk Krug, will you please call the roll?
Lorraine,
Present.
Reed,
Here.
Clark,
Present.
Krug is present, Kessler,
Here.
Gopal,
Here.
Tucker.
Present.
You have full board present.
Thanks, Bob. All right, I'd like to note for the record that Township Attorney Jack Belzer, our Operations Manager Tom Broker, Zoning Administrator Mike Deem, our Fire Chief Ryan Volz, and Assessor Julia Wilson are present this evening. Additionally, the following township officials are present via Zoom, our township engineers, Alan and Melissa Lawrence. Tom, will you detail the procedures for those attending tonight's virtual meeting?
Yes, to the members of the public attending tonight's meeting in person or via Zoom, please be advised the meeting is being recorded to be shown on Public Access TV, Spectrum Channel 191. Recorded meetings are also posted on the Fenton Area Community Television YouTube channel. For those attending via Zoom, we ask that you keep your microphone muted until we reach portions of the meeting where public comment is allowed. For tonight's meeting, there are no public hearings, therefore all public comment will be taken near the end of the meeting. Meeting materials are available for download on the Township's website at fentontownship.org.
Thanks, Tom. All right, moving on to the first business in order is approval of the agenda. Are there any requests to amend tonight's agenda? Hearing none, a motion is in order to approve the agenda as presented.
Moved. Support.
All right, motion's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Krug, will you please call the roll?
Clark,
Present.
this is to approve the
Yes.
Oh,
agenda.
I'm sorry. Yes.
I vote yes. Kessler,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Lorraine,
Yes.
Gopal,
Yes.
Tucker.
Yes.
That's all right.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those days.
The agenda stands approved as
Yes.
presented. The next business order is the meeting minutes. Included in the packet are the meeting minutes from the December 3rd regular meeting. Are there any corrections or requested revisions to these meeting minutes? Hearing none, the meeting minutes stand approved as presented. We're going to move on to expenditures. Are there any questions from the board regarding any of the invoices? Hearing none, a motion is in order to approve the expenditures totaling $755,244.08 for payment.
So moved. Support.
All right, motion's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Krug, will you please call the roll?
I vote yes. Clark,
Yes.
Kessler,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Gopal,
Yes.
Tucker,
Yes.
Lorraine,
Yes.
motion passes.
All right, the expenditures stand approved as presented. Public hearings, we have none. Next business in order is reports. Are there any committee reports to be made to the board this evening? Hearing none, we'll move on to communications. We have none this evening. Adoption of ordinances, none. Next order of business is unfinished business. We have none of that this evening. Moving on to the next order of business is new business. So we have a lot. This is resolution number 2024-59, memorial for Beverly McKenna. A longtime Board of Review member, Bev McKenna, recently passed away after a sudden illness. Our township assessor, Julia, has worked with Beverly for over 27 years, and I'd like you to come up, and I think you want to address the board.
I know Tom has the memorial, or resolution. Ouch, resolution. But I prepared something too because I worked with Bev, like Vince said, for over 27 years. And she was just a godsend on the board. She took charge. That was the type of person she was. And anybody that knew Bev, she just said what she wanted to say, and that was Bev. Whether you liked it or not, but she made you understand why she was saying something. So, it's with great sadness and a tremendous loss to the township as we have lost our chairman of the board of review on December 8th, 2024. Our condolences go out to her family. Bev has served on the Board of Review since 1990 with a brief absence in the mid-2000s. Bev served as a member for the past years as the chairman of the Board of Review. Bev was a pillar of this community for many years. Before retirement, if you could call it retirement, Bev had a long career in real estate. Bev served the community by being active and committed to community service like the Board of Review, always being fair and looking out for others. In her years of community involvement, she was also president of the Fenton School Board, Fenton Band Boosters, and advisory board member for the Flint Salvation Army, member of the Friends of the Library, and most recently president of the board at Vicinity Gardens, where she recently moved to. For those of you who knew Bev, she was always helping others. She was a servant at heart, always looking out for others and helping them adjust or find their path. As the chairman of the Board of Review and her background in real estate, she believed that educating the public with her concerns was of the utmost importance to her duty on the board. This is why she did such an excellent job in the township. She did a very excellent job, along with her other two board members at the time. They make a great pair. I've worked with Bev for over 25 years, and I can say she was not just a person serving on the board, she was my friend. Always expressing her opinion on how to make things better, she was not shy in voicing her opinion. We have seen each other's families grow with sharing stories of pictures of her grandchildren and their interest, and so proud of her great-grandchildren, always updating us with pictures as we go along, and also her beloved fur babies. I know that though Bev is no longer with us, her influence remains and her spirit will continue to inspire me. Her memory will always be a part of the Fenton Township, and she will be deeply missed.
Thank you so much, Julia.
Julia? Can I have her?
You can certainly have her read it. All right, as stated, a memorial resolution has been prepared to honor Bev's service to the Fenton Township.
So you're going to make me read this too?
Looks like Bob's throwing you the ball.
Okay.
You're in charge.
All righty. Resolution number 2024-59. Whereas Fenton Township Board of Review member Beverly McKenna passed away on December 8, 2024. And whereas Ms. McKenna was a longtime resident of Fenton Township, during which time she contributed greatly to the progress and welfare of the community, most notably as a member of the Fenton Township Board of Review, the Fenton Area Public School Boards of Education, and the Fenton Band Boosters and Flint Salvation Army Advisory Board, and as a local realtor. And whereas Ms. McKenna served loyally and faithfully as a member of the Fenton Township Board of Review from 1991 to 2004 and 2008 to 2024, providing guidance and leadership for the Board of Review for nearly 3 decades. Her professionalism, real estate expertise, and compassion for her fellow citizens made her an ideal Board of Review member during a period of growth and economic transformation in Fenton Township. Now therefore it be resolved that the Township Board of the Charter Township of Fenton hereby honors Beverly J. McKenna for her valuable contributions to our community, conveys sincere appreciation and gratitude for her dedicated service to the government and citizens of Fenton Township, and expresses profound sadness at her passing, and it be further resolved that this resolution be spread upon the minutes of this meeting, and a copy is given to Ms. McKenna's family. This resolution was adopted by the Township Board of Charter Township of Fenton at a regular meeting duly called and held on the 17th of December, 2024.
Again,
I'll
Julia,
move
thank you very
the
much.
resolution.
Okay. Motion's been moved and seconded. Any other discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Reed,
Yes.
Gopel,
Yes.
Tucker,
Yes.
Kessler,
Yes.
Lorraine.
Yes.
I vote yes. Clark,
Yes.
resolution passes.
Thanks, Bob.
Julia, thank you for taking the time to
Yeah.
add your personal input to that. That speaks highly of Bev, and I've known her for a long time too, but the fact that you're willing to take that time speaks a lot about what she means.
Well,
That's
you know,
all.
and like I just told her daughter, this is her daughter, and accepted the resolution.
Never would have guessed it.
You know, we worked together for 27 years, and it's no joke. We became friends, and we would call each other, text each other, you know, find out what our grandkids are doing and those types of things. And it was more of a friendship than it was a working relationship.
But you're a busy woman, and the fact that you took the time and effort that you expended, I think, says a lot about your mom, which I agree with everything that's been said about your mom. She's a wonderful woman, so sorry to hear of your loss.
Yes, Karen, sorry for your loss. Worked with her for, not so much during my years as a trustee, but becoming supervisor, as I'm on the board of review, got to know her quite well, so, a great lady. So, thank you. I appreciate it, Julia. All right, next under new business, appointments to the Fenton Township Board of Review. All terms for the members of the Fenton Township Board of Review will expire on December 31st, 2024. John Branchow and Randy Lau have both done an exceptional job on the Board of Review, and both have expressed the desire to be reappointed. With the unfortunate passing of Bev McKenna, a new member must also be appointed. My recommendation is to fill this position with Kimberly Pfeiffer, who is also a member of the Planning Commission. Kim has shown great dedication as a planning commissioner, and her real estate background will be a true asset to the Board of Review. Are there any questions or comments from the board?
Have you had a psychiatric evaluation recently? This is the most thankless position that exists in the township, so if you're willing to take that on, you know, I mean, it's not fun, but.
Well, you know, in the past 3 or 4 years, I've gotten so used to being yelled at, and I'm just.
So you're good? Okay, all right. No,
We have fun. Our Board of Review members have fun. That's why they stay so long.
So she heard about the parties, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And the good food.
And good food, yeah.
Good food.
Well, thank you for volunteering, Kim. This is not a fun job, so.
She didn't? All right, Julia. She's in charge of food.
Up the food game.
They
Yep.
get whatever they want. We get them, and when they're here, like you said, it's thankless. So whatever they request, that's what we get.
Good.
Yeah, that lobster and caviar layout last time was
Champagne topped it off, though.
Are there any other questions or comments from the board? Hearing none. Okay, a motion is in order to reappoint John Branchow to the Fenton Township Board of Review for the term ending December 31st, 2026.
So move.
Support.
All right, motion's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Krug, will you please call the roll?
Clark,
Yes.
Kessler,
Yes.
I vote yes. Gopel,
Yes.
Tucker,
Yes.
Lorraine,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
motion passes.
All right, thanks, Bob. Next, a motion is in order to reappoint Scott R. or Randy Lau to the Fenton Township Board of Review for the term ending December 31st, 2026.
So moved.
Support.
Motion's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Krug, will you please call the roll?
Yes. I vote yes. Gopel,
Yes.
Tucker,
Yes.
Lorraine,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Kessler,
Yes.
motion passes.
All right, next, a motion is in order to appoint Kimberly Pfeiffer to the Fenton Township Board of Review for the term ending December 31st, 2026.
I got this one. So moved.
Support?
All right, motion's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Krug, will you please call the roll?
Tucker,
Yes.
Lorraine,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Kessler,
Yes.
Krug, and Gopel.
Yes.
that it?
Motion passes.
Was that a yes for Krug?
Yes, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Top secret voting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm counting the votes.
All right, next under new business, appointments to the Southern Lakes Park and Recreation Board of Directors. The terms of trustees Christine Reed and Rob Kessler on the Southern Lakes Park and Recreation Board of Directors will expire at the end of this month, and both have indicated a desire to be reappointed. Both Christine and Rob have done an excellent job on the SLPR board, and I recommend that our board reappoint to another 3-year term for both of them. Are there any questions or comments from the board? You do serve the township well. I appreciate it from both of you. Okay, a motion is in order to reappoint Christine Reed to the Southern Lakes Park and Recreation Board of Directors for the term ending December 31st, 2027.
I'll move the motion.
Support.
All right, motion's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Krug, will you please call the roll?
Yes. Gopal.
Yes.
Tucker.
Yes.
Lorraine.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
I vote yes. Reed.
Yes.
Kessler.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, next a motion is in order to reappoint Robert Kessler to the Southern Lakes Park and Recreation Board of Directors for the term ending December 31st, 2027.
So moved.
Support.
Motion's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none.
He tried.
Try to get involved.
Oh, hearing none, Clerk Krug, will you please call the roll?
I vote yes. Reed.
Yes.
Kessler.
Yes.
Gopal.
Yes.
Tucker.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Lorraine.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, thanks, Bob. All right, next under new business is resolution number 2024-60, West Wind Street Lights. Operations Manager Broker, will you explain?
Yes, back in October, the board confirmed a special assessment role for the first phase, for streetlights in the first phase of West Winds, which is adjacent to Stony Brook. And so we finally got the paperwork from consumers, so now we need to update our street lighting contract with consumers and adopt the resolution that will authorize the supervisor or clerk to approve the authorization for change that you see in the packet there. It's just kind of a formality of the paperwork process so they can get the lights installed for the subdivision.
All right. Thanks, Tom. Are there any questions or comments from the board? Hearing none, resolution number 2024-60. Clerk Krug, will you please present the resolution?
Yes, it authorizes the township supervisor or clerk to execute on behalf of the township a street light contract change authorization for street lights to be installed under the West Wind Number 1 Street Light Special Assessment District. I'll move the resolution.
Move the motion.
All right, motion's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Krug, will you please call the roll?
Kessler.
Yes.
I vote yes. Reed.
Yes.
Lorraine.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Tucker.
Yes.
Gopal.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
All right, thanks, Bob. Next under new business is PA 152 compliance. This is our health insurance cost section of selection of 2025 compliance method. Operations Manager Broker, will you please explain?
Yes, each year we bring this to the board to make the decision for the coming year. PA 152 of 2011 gives 3 different options for publicly funded healthcare insurance. One is the default is the hard caps, which sets a maximum limit that the governmental unit can pay for insurance based on single, 2-person, or family coverage. The second option is a flat 80-20 cost-sharing arrangement. And the third option is to opt out of the requirement altogether. Both the 80-20 and the opt-out require 2/3 majority vote of the township board. Every year since this law was enacted, the board has approved 80-20 cost-sharing, but these approvals are effective for 1 year each, so the board needs to review the decision every year. I'm recommending that the board again consider adopting 80-20 for 2025. I think the flat percentage is the most equitable approach for all employees because the hard cap approach does not take into consideration the fact that insurance is priced on the age of the covered individuals. And so you get gross inequities between younger and older families on how much they have to pay if you go the hard cap route. So I did include a brief analysis in the packet that shows the 2 comparisons, but my recommendation is we do 80-20 again for 2025.
All right, thanks, Tom. Are there any questions or comments from the board?
As I've always said, I mean, the hard cap creates winners and losers. It does cost the township more to do the 80-20, but if you look at the spread and what everybody's paying, there's variance, but it's not a lot of variance under the 80-20. If you go to the hard cap, there's winners and there's losers, and that, in my mind, creates conflict and animosity or the potential thereof, and you just don't need that. So it does cost us a few more bucks to go this route, but I concur with Mr. Broker that it's probably a more equitable way to distribute that cost.
Any major discussion from the ranks upstairs reference this?
They're used to the 80/20.
Yeah, I mean, I
But,
get it.
yeah,
No, I can see how some people it would be, I mean, wow, it's some of
Yeah.
the hard cap on a lot is, geez.
yeah,
So,
understood.
okay.
Any other comments, questions? Okay, a motion is in order to continue the optional 80/20 rules for the 2025 to comply with the Publicly Funded Health Insurance Contribution Act, which is Public Act 152 of 2011.
I'll move the motion.
Support.
All right, motion's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Krug, will you please call the roll?
Yes, Reed,
Yes.
Lorraine,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Tucker.
Yes.
I vote yes. Kessler,
Yes.
Gopel.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, thanks, Bob. Next under new business is the PEG funding applications for Fenton, Lake Fenton, Linden, and Heartland schools. Operations Manager Broke, will you explain?
Yes, the 4 school districts listed have submitted PEG funding applications to upgrade and replace video equipment for creation of PEG channel video content. Included in the packet are copies of the equipment lists requested by each school. The FACT Consortium has reviewed and approved the applications and recommended approval of funding up to a maximum of $163,310.81. The allocation of the cost is based on the relative amount of PEG fee receipts each community receives. So we have a breakdown in the packet here. Fenton Township share is about 46% of the total, or $71,263. And so, as with previous PEG funding approvals, it's requested that municipalities approve an up to amount to allow the orders to be placed, and payments to the funding recipients will only occur after the actual costs are finalized, thus eliminating the need for the recipients to return funds if the final costs are lower. Because typically, technology costs go down between the time it's approved and the time they order it. This way, the up to amount eliminates that problem. It's also important to note that these funds are from the township's restricted fund balance. PEG fees can only be used to support PEG television programming, so I request the board approve the PEG fund request as outlined above.
All right. Thanks, Tom. Are there any questions or comments from the board? All right, hearing none, a motion is in order to approve the PEG funding applications of Fenton Area Public Schools, Lake Fenton Community Schools, Linden Community Schools, and Heartland Consolidated Schools up to a total amount of $71,263.46 as presented.
I'll make that motion.
I'll support.
All right, motion's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Krug, will you please call the roll?
Tucker,
Yes.
Lorraine,
Yes.
Gopel.
Yes.
Kessler,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
and Krug votes yes. Motion passes.
All right, thanks, Bob. All right, next under new business, proposed amendments to the 2024 Fenton Township budget. Operations Manager Broke, will you review?
Yes, so what you have before you is the final amendment for the 2024 budget. I'll hit some of the highlights, not everything listed in the memo. There's quite a bit there. One thing to note is we just approved some PEG funding. This was the first year that we've seen a notable decrease in cable franchise and PEG fee revenues, as more people are going to streaming and traditional cable revenues are dropping. So unless the FCC changes things or the state of Michigan changes things to tack on franchise fees to streaming services, we will probably continue to see that dwindle over the years. But so far, it's not been a drastic drop, and we do have some reserves set aside. So just wanted to point that out. We did have a pretty decent increase. We're adding $100,000 to the projected revenue for building permits. Part of it due to increased building activity, part because we're now doing the trade permits. $200,000 increase in interest revenue due to higher than projected investment rates and positive cash flows. Everything else is pretty routine. So for the net effect for the general fund amendments is a decrease to the total fund balance of $42,800, which leaves an overall budget shortfall projection of 161.1. However, 150,000 of the budget increase was for the Thompson Road project, which comes from the restricted fund balance for that project. Therefore, the net effect on the unrestricted fund balance is an increase of 107,000, and for the year, the unrestricted fund balance is projected to increase about 239,000. Hopefully that all made sense, but the bottom line is positive. So.
Doing well.
On the fire fund, we didn't have interest revenue in the original budget, so we added that. The chief discovered that opioid settlement funds can be used by fire departments, so we threw some money in there for that because we got some more money. And a couple other things just to match up with actuals. So net effect of the proposed fire fund amendments is an increase in the fund balance of about 40,000, and unrestricted fund balance at year end is going to be approximately $500,000. Street lighting, Consumers Energy put in a big rate increase this year, so we actually had to move money from the general fund temporarily to keep the cash balance positive. We'll pay that back in 25 in the budget we've already adopted. Mosquito, we have adjusted to match the actual, but still have a healthy fund balance. Sewer fund, increase in penalty revenue because we increased the rate. Interest revenue again is up. County O&M expenditures are down to match actual year end. And bond interest went way down because we paid off a couple of bonds this year. Proposed budget amendments result in a modest increase to cash reserves, about $87,000 for the year. The water fund, we removed the projected bond sale proceeds because we did not issue any bonds. As we've said in the past, the water fund budget will continue to be a bit of a moving target until we get more customers connected and we get further along in the operation of the system. So, and proposed budget amendments for the private road maintenance SAD fund and the solid waste management fund include only minor adjustments, and there are no amendments proposed for the dog park fund or the lake improvement SAD fund. And from that, I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Well, thanks, Tom, and all those that have been sitting on this board for a while. I just want to say that when it comes to putting together the budget or reporting to this board under proposed amendments on a quarterly basis or whenever we feel it's necessary, Tom does a great job. Tom, I think the township residents should rest assured that Tom can put together a budget, and we're a well-managed township. Any other questions or comments from the board?
Yeah, Tom, could you go through that again? I missed some stuff.
Well, we're cutting the clerk's salary.
I had one comment. I was pleased to see on here the increased revenue for this hall that we're sitting in.
Oh, yes.
And I think the public needs
Thank
to
you.
know that and to see that. And I do see more and more activity down here, and I've been to a couple gatherings, a couple graduation parties that were conducted here, and it's nice that the residents are using the facility and, getting the money back out of it.
Thank you. Yeah, that's great.
I like it.
And I think I've mentioned to the board that starting in the first quarter, we're going to, because the board is kind of recommended that I'm doing it, we're going to have each department give an update of what's going on, things like that. So under social media, under her report, he'll be talking about the rentals, how high they're up or down, that sort of stuff. So the board will be a lot more informed than just reading it. They'll actually have reports that we'll have from each one of our department heads. So I think it'll be great. Any other questions or comments from the board? Hearing none, a motion is in order to adopt amendments to the 2024 Fenton Township budget as presented.
So moved.
Support?
All right, motion's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Krug, will you please call the roll?
Kessler,
Yes.
pardon me, Reed,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
I vote yes. Tucker,
Yes.
Gopel,
Yes.
Yes.
Lorraine. Motion passes.
Thanks, Bob. All right, next under new business is proposals to codify general ordinances. Our township zoning administrator is here, and he'll go over it with us. Mike?
Sure. So I'm sure you guys have heard Jack request that we codify ordinances a couple times. So we did some research, reached out to some of the big companies that do codification in the state. Unicode and American Legal Publishing are the two big ones in the state. We tried to get a third quote from General Code. So I had Zoom interviews with all three of them, did demos, got quotes from Unicode and American Legal, did not get one from General Code, and I don't know why. They had a pretty cool presentation, but 6 weeks later, no quotes, right? So that pretty much told me all I needed to know. So I put both quotes for Unicode and American Legal in the packet. They're very similar, right, for the codification process. Time frame is going to take about a year to 18 months. The cost is within $500 of each other. The big difference between the two is continuing costs and maintenance and upkeep of the ordinances online. American Legal's method is a la carte and by page, while Unicode's is all-inclusive, right? It's one flat fee. Looking at what we've done over the past couple years, if you look at like the per page basis to get them apples to apples, over the past 2 years, American Legal would have came out, you would have been about $300 to $500 cheaper a year going with them. If you go back 3 years, you're $2,000 in the hole going with American Legal. So there's a lot of variance, and that's just doing a quick review of the two. The American Legal thing, they nickel and dime you on everything on there. Unicode, Civic Plus, they are the host of our website, so we have a working relationship with them. So based on my familiarity with them, the fact that they do our website, and the known flat fee for the continuing cost, it's my recommendation that we go with the Unicode quote.
Thanks, Mike. Any questions or comments from the board? Yes, Jack?
My experience with both those entities, Municode's way better, easier to use. That's been my experience.
Great. Yep, I reviewed this several times with Mike. He keeps me abreast of everything he's doing in the department, and I agree with Mike. Unicode's the way to go. Again, they're hosting our website. I think the integration, all the things that we're going to look for, ongoing, cheaper cost. It's not like our township is shrinking, it's getting larger. It's growing, so I think this is a good choice. So I support our zoning administrator's recommendation. Any other questions or comments from the board?
I do too. My default setting is not against, is against the flat fee, because I know how they get quoted. You quote high, because you're never going to be sure what's happening. So normally I prefer the a la carte approach, but we're doing something new here, right? And once you get it implemented, you're stuck with whoever you implemented with. And so, I understand why you went the way you went, especially with the math, what it is, because that's what it is. You don't know.
It's the math.
You don't know. It's, you're getting out your crystal ball. But if the nomenclature nickel and diming is being invoked, that's not where you want to be either, because that leaves you exposed to big numbers. So the main thing for me, and I knew this without Jack saying it, is that Unicode already hosts our current stuff, and the compatibility and the functionality together, that's worth something by itself. So even though that's not my default setting, I think it's the right thing to do in this case.
Appreciate that. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, a motion is in order to approve the proposal from Unicode to codify Fenton Township's general ordinances as presented.
So moved.
Support.
All right, motion's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Krug, will you please call the roll?
I vote yes. Clark,
Yes.
Kessler,
Yes.
pardon me, Gopel,
Yes.
Tucker,
Yes.
Lorraine,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
motion passes.
All right, thanks, Bob. Next under new business is proposed revisions to Fenton Township Schedule of Fees. Operations Manager Brooke, will you review that?
Yes, what you have in the packet is a revised schedule of fees. The only proposed changes are on about the 6th or 7th page down under cemeteries. The company we use for grave opening and closings and foundations is Genesee Valley Vault. They recently gave us notice that they're increasing their fees, so we're just increasing to offset the cost. So we're still, making a little bit for administrative work. Everything's going up, I think, $50 And then we did not have a foundation installation fee before, so we're adding that to the schedule.
Thanks, Tom.
What does that mean? What's foundation? I mean, is that a vault?
No, it'd be a
Or what?
foundation for a stone, like a base for a stone,
How many of those we do a year? How many cemetery permits?
2 or 3.
Okay.
It's not a high volume.
No, I was just curious. I know we have some, but I was
Yeah.
just.
It's a good question. I didn't know what it was either. Any other questions or comments from the board? Okay, a motion is in order to adopt the revised Fenton Township schedule of fees, and they will be effective January 1st, 2025, as presented.
So moved.
Support.
All right, motion's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Krug, will you please call the roll?
Yes, thank you. Lorraine,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Kessler,
Yes.
Gopel,
Yes.
Tucker,
Yes.
Reed.
Yes.
I vote yes, motion passes.
All right, thanks, Bob. Next on our new business is schedule of the CDBG Public Needs Hearing. Operations Manager Brook, will you review?
Yes, if you had a chance to review the memo, we were notified very recently that due to the updated records from HUD, the township no longer has a low moderate area where we can do CDBG projects without jumping through a lot of extra hoops. So the project we'd already submitted and had approved for road improvements is no longer eligible. So the county has advised us we have until January 15th to hold a public needs hearing and submit 1 or more new grant applications. In order to meet that deadline, we'll need to hold a public hearing and approve applications at our next meeting on January 7th. So I'm requesting the board schedule that hearing so we can get the notice posted.
Thanks, Tom. Are there any questions or comments from the board? Mark, okay, I just wanted to let you know that Tom and I have spent some time on this. We will be scheduling some meetings, and we have some options that we think are workable. So we will be presenting those and others, plus we will have the public hearing and be able to hear from the public. But don't want you to think we're losing the funds. We do have projects out there that we will be bringing to the board that will benefit our residents. All right, any other questions or comments from the board? Hearing none, a motion is in order to schedule a CDBG Public Needs Hearing to be held on January 7th, 2025, Fenton Township Board meeting, at the Fenton Township Board meeting.
I'll support.
All right, motion's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Krug, will you please call the roll?
Yes, Kessler,
Yes.
Gopel.
Yes.
I vote yes, Reed,
Yes.
Lorraine,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Tucker.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. Next order of business is board comment. Is there anyone that has additional comments or concerns from the board?
I just have one. Back to the cemetery foundation. It's just, the math ain't mathing to me here. Because this says foundation installation, 60 cents a square foot, minimum $150.
So it's $150.
Right. That's what I said.
You see where I'm at?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The per
Foundation,
square
the
foot
headstone.
thing doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
I just want to know if it's an error in our report, or
That's what their fee schedule says. So we just copied it.
so we're missing something in translation.
I'll follow up to make sure.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. 'cause
No, that's
weird.
I can't believe I didn't catch it.
Have we been collecting that fee in the past? Or
I
is
don't
that
know, I think it's a new fee, so
New fee.
maybe it's a typo. We'll follow up.
Yeah, maybe it's supposed to be $60 a foot?
Right, that would make more sense.
Yeah.
Any other comments or concerns? Well, I do want to bring up Ms. Kimberly Pfeiffer. Would you like to come up and say anything to the board? Congratulations, by the way. As Treasurer Tucker said, but I just wanted to make sure you had the opportunity to say anything to the board.
No, but I think I need to be sworn in.
We can do that right after the meeting.
Yeah, we can do it right after the meeting.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
All right, no problem. Any other board comment this evening? All right, I did want to say something. I guess first I'd like to thank the board for their unwavering support and dedication. Your hard work has made a real difference for the residents of Fenton Township, And together, we've accomplished so much over the past 4 years. To the residents of Fenton Township, I say thank you for re-electing not only myself, but this board in November, and the confidence and trust that you've placed in both myself and this board. It has truly been an honor to serve you. What are you chuckling about?
Oh, Gopal's over there. How did you do this to me again, Tucker?
So as we close out the year, I want to wish every one of you a Merry Christmas, a happy, healthy, and prosperous New Year, and may 2025 bring continued progress and success to our community.
You're here.
All right. Anything else? Next business order is public comment on agenda or non-agenda items. I will now open up the meeting for public comment on agenda or non-agenda items. Is there anyone present that would like to address the board on agenda or non-agenda items? Hearing none, I will move on to Zoom. Is there anybody that is attending via Zoom that would like to address the board on agenda or non-agenda items? If so, unmute your mic, wave your hand.
Thanks for running an extremely efficient meeting. No comments, that's what it said.
Oh, okay. Thank you. All right. If there's nobody via Zoom or no one here tonight, it's now 7:12 p.m. If there's nothing else, I say good night and the meeting's adjourned. Thank you all for coming.
Bill's a charm, like the first time was 15 minutes.